So something we do all the time in JavaScript and TypeScript is work with anonymous functions, right? And we pass a function to another function, something like for each or map, where we're working with, let's say, a list of numbers in this case, or a list of colors. I've got this colors array. We haven't talked about arrays in TypeScript yet, but it's just a JavaScript array, right? It has 3 colors in it. There's 3 strings. And let's say I want to map over them. So I'll do colors.map, and I want to uppercase them all. So I would pass in some function. I would probably just use an arrow function and call my parameter something like color. Now, we just talked about how when we write a function, if we don't specify a type for the parameter or parameters, they default to any. If I were to just write a function, let's just call it blah, if it expects some parameter called color, if I hover over that, it's going to have an implicit type of any. I didn't specify what it should be. But that is not what's actually happening here. TypeScript is smart, and it's able to look at the context of how this function is being passed and called by map. We're passing it to map, which is a method on colors, which is a list or an array of strings. And if we hover over color, it knows that color is going to be a string. So I don't actually have to annotate that in this case. I don't need to say, color is a string. I can if I want to, but this is a nice situation where we can get away without that. And it's not going to default to any because of the context here. So inside of here, I can do something like color dot, to uppercase, and let's say I want to return that. But it will also yell at me and warn me if I try and do something that I can't do, like the number method to fixed. It doesn't exist on a string, and it complains to me. So that's just a nice little situation when you're working with these anonymous functions. TypeScript can determine the type of that parameter because of the context that it's called in. TypeScript can infer the type of that color parameter because it knows how map works, and it inferred the type of colors. It's an array of strings.